Hello everyone, and welcome to the bonus video of Klonoa Door to Phantomile. So, back in about 2017, I said that I would look at the extras of the game after it was done, so here we are doing it now. Better late than never, I suppose. Here is what the map looks like when you finish the game, because this basically allows you to replay any of the levels if you miss any of the Phantomilians, and collect the gems. But that's the one thing I didn't do. I haven't collected the gems, so as you can see it looks kind of a bit lifeless, because you have these grey gems with 0 next to them and stuff. What I decided to do in this is show you what it's like to get all the gems for each level, as, man, it can be good but sometimes frustrating. Let's walk through that. When you collect all 150 gems in a level, this is the reward you get for on the map. As you can see, the numbers go up for the gems, but you get this cute little sprite at the top, as well as a blue gem. I just think it looks nice and well animated, really. If you don't get all 150 gems, but you do at least get 130, you do still get the sprite, but there's a green gem instead. It's just a nice little detail I find. Now, getting all the gems in this game is no easy task, because you literally have to make sure you get every single one. If you miss one, you either have to die or just restart the whole chapter again. And it's especially a pain in the ass with the bonus bubbles, because bonus bubbles double your points, right? But they only appear for a short amount of time, so every gem you see on the screen, yeah, you want to make sure that you can get every single one of those, or else you ain't gonna get it. You don't really want to forget about the bigger enemies as well, as remember, they do explode into smaller gems. It especially becomes more difficult when you have to deal with these larger enemies, but also do that with a bonus bubble as well. So that means grab the enemy, whack the big fella, and then grab all of the gems there. If you miss a single one, it's not gonna work. And you only just get 150. One big tip I will give you for gem collecting in this is to experiment. Like for this segment here where I have to hit the bonus bubble instead of collecting the gems, as they multiply, and then I stand more of a chance collecting 150 gems. Some levels expect a bit of trial and error as well, like for instance Vision 3 of 2. Here's what I did here. I got the bonus bubble, got those gems, but by the time I got to the thing down there, I didn't have enough time in order to get double the points. So when I proceeded on and finished the level, I only managed to get about 141 gems. It's 2 digits, by the way, on like the bottom screen. So it would say 41, it means 141. But what they actually expect you to do on this is open up the door first, right? So that way, then when you go up and hit the bonus bubble, you should have enough time, although only just barely. Basically put when you hit the bonus bubbles, you gotta get running. And as you can see at the very end of this, I only just barely got 150. It is extremely tight in some situations. And oh boy, Vision 5.1 gets ridiculous in places. On this part right here, through my time of playing this, I figured out what I had to do was actually hit the bonus bubble beneath, then go back and collect them that way, because that way I get enough. And it gets even more stupid later on, because for this bit I don't even know what I did, to be honest. Half the time I just like hit the thing and then just went ahead and collected the gems, but in order to get 150 I have to collect those specific gems over there, and as you can see I only just barely made it. So at times it does get a little bit frustrating trying to get all 150. One thing you can do though, if you find that you mess up, you don't have to restart the whole level again, because if you die, it just puts you back to where you last were and keeps the number of gems. Coming away from gem collecting though, I thought I'd take the time to look at the artwork for the box arts for Klonoa Door to Phantomile. Firstly, let's look at the PAL version, as that's the version that I've been playing all along. This one's okay. It's basically just Klonoa, Hue PAL, and a purple and blue background with stars, which admittedly did inspire like the idea or so for the borders to the left and the right. I thought it just looked nice as like a little backdrop. It's okay, but it gets to the point I suppose. It does look cute, and that's about it really. Up next, here is the American version, where, as you can see, this looks a little bit more interesting. We've got, like, actual artwork going on, so not like 3D models or anything, and a nice painting in the background, and it looks inviting, and it still captures the cute feel to it. Seriously, I really like the American box art for this. And finally, here is the Japanese version. Kinda similar to the American box art, I suppose, except this one has a different pose for Klonoa, a different style of writing obviously, and a little thing at the bottom that says, "And I begin to wonder, the dreams I can't remember when I wake up in the morning, where in the world did they go?" I think it was probably more something to invite the players into the world or so from the box art, but it still looks nice. I'd say out of all of them personally, my least favourite one is probably the PAL one, because it's just a little bit too basic. American and Japanese box arts just seem to knock it out of the park for me. So yeah, I just thought it was fun to cover really. I've always been into like looking at different box art designs, so that's pretty sweet. Okay, and going back to the gem collecting, here is what the map looks like when you've collected all 150 gems in the main levels so far. This is only for ones that I've played so far, so we're not quite including the extra vision. We'll be doing that in a second, but I think this looks quite nice. It's not an amazing reward, but it is a nice map. You get all these nice sprites and just blue gems. It feels like a proper completion to it. Kinda gives me the same vibe of when you 100% Crash 1. Anyway, time for the real bonus. The extra vision. Where are we? It's Baloo's tower. He actually finished it. Wait a little bit for me, my love! Hey, what happened? Enough! A brat like you, I am my darling Lafiz. Dirty conniving traitor! What? Wait just a minute. Don't think you're special just because you rescued Lafiz. Lafiz was saved because of my love for her. Right. So, I'll gladly hand over the title of Phantomile's hero to you. In exchange, Lafiz is mine! What the... Actually, Lafiz is already up there. Ah. So, you kids should go home and take a nap. This tower is off limits to you. So long! Hey, wait just a sec. Well now, let's get going. Let's get going indeed, Hugh Poe. Welcome to Extra Vision, Klonoa's Grand Gale strategy and Baloo's tower. So, Baloo, he's managed to build this whole entire tower. Straight up from the first game, when he built this masterpiece of a sculpture outside being Lafiz, and now here he is right now. He's finished the whole damn thing. Crazy, right? I really like that as it adds to the whole story side of things for the game. I didn't really take that much attention to it to start with, but then it's only as of late that I've really appreciated it. Anyway, yeah, Extra Vision. Goodness me, this one is an absolute nightmare to get through for your first time and stuff, because man, okay, most of the game in that is quite casual, but when you get to this segment, they really want you to be super precise with your platforming and stuff, especially if you want to go for all 150 gems. You don't really have to, you get like a little extra thing at the end for it, except I decided to go the extra mile for this and go for a no-death run. Again, you don't have to do a no-death run side of things, but I really wanted to make this game, end off with a bang, essentially. Also, the song in this place is basically just an extended version of Baloo's song. Basically, when we met up with him in the cutscene or so, from Vision 1 of 1. Because my oh my, that was so long ago. It's still crazy to me that this LP was all the way back in 2017. I know it's taken me a long time to get this bonus video out there, but for some reason, when I finished Klonoa back in 2017, I just didn't feel the need to work on this bonus video. So here we are now in 2023, and now it's finally done, eh? Like, fancy that. But geez, as you can see here, like, the stuff that they expect you to do in this is crazy. Especially with this bonus bubble. I already despise the bonus bubbles when it comes to getting all of the gems and stuff, and I just had to throw one in here as well for some reason. You're gonna die a lot in Extra Vision, which is kind of why, whenever you play through this level, they give you so many extra lives. You get a crap ton of lives for this, because you might have noticed earlier, but every time I cleared a segment, there were like all these coins, just like in a square sort of form. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that they want you to do for this little cell. But yeah, it's absolutely bonkers, I tell you. The amount of times I've played through this Extra Vision though, I've kind of got most of this memorized, although that does happen a lot with games. It's kind of similar if you play through, you know, the Sonic games on the Genesis, for instance, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Eventually you do get kind of used to where, you know, the special rings or giant rings are. It all just becomes natural over time. Same thing with Klonoa, really. I do have yet to get all the gems though in Klonoa 2, Lunatea's Veil, so that'll probably be my next challenge or so, but I'll be doing that off screen, obviously. For number 1 though, I really wanted to get all the gems, just out of curiosity, to see what happens. It was only as of late that I realised that I never did that, so there was me, right, saying that I've 100%ed Klonoa, when in reality I actually didn't. It was, like, sort of, I don't know, 80% or so? Something like that, anyway. I also like how they give you, like, an hour, because if you see at the top right, it says 59 minutes and stuff. So yeah, it's basically saying you roughly have about an hour to clear this. They give you plenty of time, which I think is rather nice. Out of curiosity, in my own time, I saw what happens if you let that pass. The timer resets, but it still counts it going above when you actually finish the level, so that's kind of a bit strange, isn't it? Anyway, there is all 150 gems that was collected, so that's nice. Except some of them you do have to really keep an eye out for, because I remember on the previous segment that I was on, there was this blue gem that was just completely out of my reach. I did not see that, and I kept wondering, why do I keep finishing it with nearly 150 gems? But there you go, that's probably the reason why, in particular. Something else that I did by complete accident was I managed to land on 97 lives. The reason why I find that quite strange is because, I mean, the game came out in 1997. This was not intentional, but hey, that's definitely one way to end it or so, isn't it? Anyway, so let's just finish up this platforming segment right here, and there we go. That is Baloo's Tower. I took a bit of a breather here because I was quite happy to get all 150. We made it! So where's Baloo and Laphise? I love you. Like a big brother. Baloo! We didn't have to rush after all. He's too old for her, but he's young at heart. Laphise? I guess it's pointless to ask if you're alright. Thank you, Klonoa and Hupo. I'm sorry you've had to come all the way up here. It's alright. Sorry we weren't helpful. Oh, I'm sorry I caused you trouble. Baloo should have known much better. But, you know, Baloo is really kind. Here, he gave me this. What's this? A machine? Baloo made it specially for me. It's a strange box that plays music. Really? Let me hear! Let me hear! Okay, you do this here. Aw, poor Baloo. So, this is the reward you get if you get all 150 gems in Extra Vision. If you don't get them, instead you just see Baloo sad and then the screen just kind of fades out. But if you get 150, you get this beautiful, like, display of fireworks. It's basically randomized sprites from the game. Like, as you can see, there's Baloo. Sometimes it might be a Moo as well, or Lafiz. Every time I've played this, it seems to be randomly generated or so. So, if you're kind of curious of, like, the actual true ending, I suppose this is what it is? It's not much of a true ending, it's just a bunch of fireworks, but hey, it's better than nothing, I suppose, isn't it? And at least then it feels, like, rewarding at the end. With the game beaten to 100% though and getting all 150 gems, we are greeted with this. The music player. Yeah, for 100% in the game, not only do you get like a display of fireworks, but you do also get this sound test, essentially. Probably not much these days, but I suppose back then in about 1997, having the sound test of the game must have been quite nice, because, you know, it's just full access to the songs, and you get to see the name of the songs, and all sorts, which is brilliant. Just for the record though, you don't actually need to get all the gems to get the music player. All you really need to do is just finish Extra Vision. So, as long as you get all the Phantomilions, and beat Extra Vision, that's fine, you've got the music player. Which I suppose sort of counts to 100%, but after I realised the thing with gems and the 150 on each level, maybe that's not the case anymore, but still. If you're curious by how many songs there are in the music player, by the way, there's a grand total of like 44, and the last one being called Thankful Sweet. I still think it's quite useful actually that this tells you what the names of the songs are, so if you want to listen to them as well on like YouTube and stuff, if you're like, oh, I want to listen to that song, you can just type in this title. So that's another workaround to it, isn't it? But other than that, that is basically everything for Klonoa Door to Phantomile. So I'm going to pop outside of the music player, and here is what the map looks like. It just looks really pretty if you ask me. It's not amazing, again, but it's satisfaction at the end of the day. And one last thing before we end the video off is this neat little feature. So, if we head back to the title screen, you see those leaves that appear? If you press L2 and R2 at the same time, they blow away. Revolutionary, isn't it? It's just a nice little detail, I thought. But, yeah, other than that, I believe that is everything all done for Klonoa Door to Phantomile. At long last. So thank you to everyone who tuned into this LP, and I will see you in more projects that I've got coming soon. Not sure what I've got planned, but I've got a couple of ideas, let's just say. Just nothing in the works at the minute, but it will be. Anyway, take care guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in more stuff. It's nice to have this bonus video all wrapped up.